shitloads of product comes out, is just paying for really expensive water. Even for me, just took it a bit too far. Hi everyone, today is a quick video about 5 skincare empties. Now, you know that I talk a lot, so for me to cut this down into 5 minutes might be a challenge, but let's see how we go. It might need some clever editing, but I'm Dr. Sapna. I have acne-prone skin and I love talking about all things skin and derm, so let's get started. I'm gonna start in a pretty random order, but let's just see what happens. First up, this is the Sunday Riley Autocorrect Eye Cream. So this is a brightening and depuffing caffeine-based eye cream. Now it's super lightweight. It's like a gel cream, definitely more on the cream side, I'd say, that goes underneath your eyes. It basically helps brighten your eyes. Now I can't really speak for the depuffing that the caffeine element will do for your skin because I don't have puffy under eyes. Instead, I have kind of deep set, dark hollows underneath my eyes. Now, no amount of cream is ever going to fix that, and I'm cool with that. But I'm always just looking for eye creams that can help brighten and lift, as well as prevent wrinkles underneath the eyes. This is a caffeine-based eye cream. It doesn't have many active ingredients that will help for wrinkles. But what I find is that in the long term, if you're keeping your skin hydrated, that can help with wrinkles underneath the eyes. Now, the Sunday Riley stuff is crazy expensive, and somehow I've been one of the mugs who got sucked into buying every single product of Sunday Riley skincare because I love it and the packaging is so nice and it makes me feel so good. But I understand that it is crazy expensive and not everyone should have to pay that much. So I actually got this, I think, in one of the Caroline Hirons kit boxes, which means that it was probably about half price or 60%, and that makes it much more affordable. Ultimately, for an eye cream like this, it has a tiny bit of kind of sheen or pigment in it that adds that brightening effect. Now that means that it kind of helps lift your concealer, not in a huge way, not like a massive corrector, but it just has that tiny little bit of brightening effect underneath your eyes. I probably wouldn't go crazy and buy it again. It was excellent, don't get me wrong. I just know that there are so many other eye creams kind of on the market, and I think I'd be looking for something a bit more affordable. The other thing that I just needed to show you is I basically wrecked this packaging. I read online that lots of times you feel like you're pumping and you feel like it's finished, and then you pull out the bag from inside the bottle and shitloads of product comes out, and I found that was true. So there was loads left inside this little bag, and then even when I continued to sort of squeeze it and pump it, I could see there was loads of product left. So I just went to town with a pair of scissors and cut it open and basically used every single drop of product. Yeah, I'm proud of that because so much extra came out. So I'd recommend that tip for literally any type of skincare. Just see if you can get as much from it as you can. Next up are these mists. Now they're exactly the same. I have a big one that I used every day and then a small one that I used for travel. It's the Innisfree green tea mist. Now I know that lots of people feel like misting is just paying for really expensive water, which probably is true. The main component of this is water, but there are a couple of bits and pieces that make this a really nice mist. Now I use mist just kind of between layers and sandwiching your hyaluronic acid or serums and kind of before your moisturizer. I use it AM and PM, so I know I get through a lot of it. I know that I do like the kind of watery ones. I don't want the ones that are too thick, that aren't going to play well with the rest of my skincare, and they're just there to add an extra layer of hydration. This one was pretty good. It has green tea extract and panthenol. The idea is that it's supposed to be calming. Now I don't want my mist to do anything else than just to hydrate and kind of calm, so this worked perfectly. It was something that I picked up when I was in Melbourne, and their big shopping centre has a Innisfree shop that I'd never seen before, so I kind of walked in and I was determined that I really wanted to buy something, and at the time my routine felt really full, like I had lots of products, so I didn't quite know where to go, and I ended up buying this. It was pretty affordable. I think this was $13, which makes it about £7, so you can't really go wrong, and the bigger one was maybe 15. It worked pretty well. I probably wouldn't purchase it again, only because, again, like there are so many things that I just want to try, but I don't think there was actually anything wrong with it. Ultimately, it is fancy water to spray on your skin. Now, the next one is the Ultraviolet SPF 50 Queen Sunscreen. Now, this is one that I did like, I just don't think it was right for me. I think the ultraviolet range is fantastic. They are all SPF 50 sunscreens, and there's basically a whole big array that you can just find whichever one suits you. And what's great is I can go into Sephora or Mecca and actually just try out all the different textures to see which one worked for me. So initially I bought this one, and I bought the yellow one with the pump. Now this says it's lightweight, and it is because it's runny. But for me, I actually just found it was very, very greasy, and like you can kind of almost see it. Like on the bottle, you can see how like the product kind of separated a bit, showing me how much oil felt like it was in here. Again, I think it did spread all over your skin, and I think you could get a really good SPF 50 coverage from it. However, I just think it was a bit too greasy. I do like that kind of like dewy kind of finish, but this, even for me, just took it a bit too far. Like it made me look like I was wet. It just was a bit too greasy. Instead, I think I would keep opting for the one before this on the spectrum. I forgot what it's called, but it's the one with the yellow lid, and it's the SPF 50 as well, the one with the pump that I just think is much more universal, and I could use that every day, no problem. One other thing I didn't like about this is that it has a dropper. Now I just find like droppers really like faffy, and I think if something can come in a pump, it's much easier. I get it with a sunscreen that is this runny, maybe the pump wouldn't have worked that well because it would have just kind of splashed out everywhere, and this you could probably get a bit more controlled amount. I just find a pipette a bit more fiddly because I feel like it always goes everywhere. I find it quite difficult to like hold this without spilling it. You also have quite like a tight seal around the neck of this bottle, which means that there's lots of product you kind of can't get out. Again, not for me. I wouldn't repurchase this. I probably wouldn't recommend it either, but it is SPF 50. There's nothing wrong with the actual formulation. Just not for me. Next up is the Face Theory Azelaic acid. Now this is a 15% azelaic acid serum. I actually tell lots of my patients to use azelaic acid. It is a fantastic ingredient if you have red, inflamed, cystic acne. It's perfect for anyone who suffers with rosacea, anyone who can't tolerate tretinoin or retinoids. Azelaic acid is the way to go, and I've seen amazing results from people with it. Having said that, for me, I don't think this was the be all and end all. I really wanted to like it again because I've seen so many great results. However, my skin is not the right type of skin for azelaic acid. Now, I have like comedonal acne, and azelaic acid is much better for that inflamed kind of acne. I think me, like age 16, when my acne and skin was really, really inflamed, this would have been perfect. However, right now when I've just got comedonal like blockages, it doesn't really cut it. What I did like about this, again, lightweight kind of creamy serum that you could easily layer with moisturizer, that sort of thing. It doesn't cause any sensitivity or irritation, which I think is really important for azelaic acid because so many people can't tolerate anything else, and then they look to azelaic acid to help with their skin issues. So this does work really well for that. I like that it comes in a little pump. It's reasonably affordable. I've again managed to make a wreck of the packaging. And last but certainly not least, the Succinic acid by the Inkey list. This is a spot treatment. It's a pretty tiny little bottle, maybe 10-15 mils, maybe more than that. Oh, I'm terrible at guessing these things, but it's a tiny little like squeezy tube with a little pointy end that basically gives out some green stuff that you can put on your skin and put on pimples. Now, I think this is really great as a night treatment for acne for a couple of reasons. Now, there was a big thing when this came out. It initially came out without this little sticker that said with salicylic acid. So the Inkey list were kind of promoting succinic acid as this new acne fighting ingredient, and it is good. There is some data out there that supports the use of succinic acid for acne, but what's probably the best about this is that it combines that as well as the salicylic acid. Now, we know salicylic acid, usually at 2%, is really good for acne. It can help dig into your pores and help clear out any blockages. Now, I always find that the other forms of salicylic acid that are like the liquid toners are excellent for preventing acne, and some people do just need something a little bit extra for those spots. The only thing I'd be careful with is if you have lots of spots, you have to be careful not to over dry it with this, because when you combine this as well as other acne fighting ingredients, it's really easy to just go over the top and cause dry patches. Dryness, like I've talked about a million times, prevents the healing of acne, so you have to be really careful to get that balance. This is really great. It's affordable. It comes out with this like green paste almost, but as soon as you massage it in, the greenness kind of disappears, so it's not a problem. But if you're using it overnight, who cares if your face is green? I think I would recommend this. This was £7 or £8 and it does help shrink your spots. So that's it from today. I went well over 5 minutes. Next time I'll try and make it quicker. I hope that you enjoyed a very quick empties video. If you enjoy these slightly shorter videos or want more in-depth reviews about these products or their ingredients, please leave me a message in the comments below, or you can find me on Instagram and DM me there. Thanks for watching.